And in now moving away from applied computing, I really want to talk about some science courses. We've seen an increasing number of students wanting to get into bachelors of food science, become food technologists. So moving into that sort of food science space, or just general science, can you just quickly tell us what courses in science are starting in November and February? Because I want to cover both of those intakes because people are looking at both of those. So just tell us very quickly what courses in science start in those two intakes.
So the science program, but you should start in February because that's the especially at postgraduate level, we don't have an intake for November. If you are starting for the bachelor degree, obviously you can pick the courses that will use towards your electives, and then you can start in November. So for food science programs, you should really look at Lincoln universities because for us it's all about food.
That's right.
Yeah. So we have a BSc in food science. We also have for students who have got microbiology, biotech, agriculture, horticulture, zoology, botany background, who you have good undergraduate bachelor degrees and maybe have gone to some other fields, now want to come back to do food science. Our Master of Science in Food Innovation is perfect. It's a 3-semester, 12-month studies. You don't have a long summer break. However, that the employment outcome for us has been really, really strong.
And what kind of people got into, Annie, if you can just quickly tell us after doing the masters in food and innovation?
Yeah. So our students go into, say, they work for Fonterra as microbiologists, they work in the lab, they work for quality assurance, testing, because it's also about designing new products as well. We have one course that's called food innovation. So it's quite versatile. So they might go into confectionery, they might go into beer making.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I personally am because we do a lot of obviously work visas and residence applications for people working in that industry. And so I personally have full faith in, the food science requirement in New Zealand and the employment opportunities there, because everything, we are agriculture based, there's food, okay, so that's great. So that master's you've just talked about, there's a bachelor's and there's a master's. The master's is 3 semesters, but it's actually 12 months. The scholarships also apply to these courses or no?
Yes, the scholarship value is the same as the Master of Applied Computing. So it's 7,000. Again, it's merit based. We look for B plus average in your final year of your bachelor degree. Yeah.
Okay. And those of you that are listening, if you do a bachelor's, because I'll keep putting my immigration spin on this, if you have studied previously and you do your bachelor's degree or you do your master's as a returning student, you will get your 3-year post-study work visa again. So that sort of, gives you that pathway to move into a residence, into work visas. Okay, that's great. So if someone so there's a lot of people here that have come into, say, level 5 and 6 in IT a few years ago. They've kind of come to the end of the road in their career, level 5 and 6 in business, and they are really looking at resetting the career. When those people, they may have done 12th from India or from another country, and they may have done commerce or arts. Now if those people are wanting to get into the bachelor's of food science, can they actually get into the course straight away, or do they have to do a few other papers, or is there a foundation course that's required before they get in? What happens to those kind of profiles?
So if our students have done some tertiary studies, it will be a little bit case by case. Generally speaking, they can apply directly for the Bachelor of Food Science or Bachelor of Science in Food Innovation, food science subjects, because when we assess the students, we'll assess the 10+2 as well as the level 5 or level 6 qualification. So if a student say have studied the New Zealand Diploma in Business, which is a very well established pathway, then it is quite easy for us to then look at the students can also potentially apply to see whether they can get a couple of papers credited or exempted. So if a students come from a non-science background, they should really start from the basic science papers. we do we the way we teach our first year degree papers is we do assume that students don't know much about science, that they can learn from basic. And I have had students from Indonesia, for example, who's come from social science background and actually passed year one food science, like plant science, animal science papers. It is possible if you want to learn. There's
Okay.
nothing to stop
I think
you.
that's good to know, because I'm always very conscious when these people are looking at changing careers. They're actually normally really bright students, just started off on the wrong foot, but sometimes they might need to get into the foundation before they get into the bachelor's, which then becomes a very long pathway. So it's good to know that they can actually get into the bachelor's degree.
Yeah, we also have a diploma in university studies, which is like our foundation program, which can fast track students into year two of the bachelor degrees. So we will assess the students based on what their background is. So there'll always be an alternative way to get into the program if they want to invest and if they want to study.
Oh, absolutely. And you will be, I mean, one of the things that I have noticed, and I'm sure many of the people that are listening will agree with me, there's an increasing number of onshore students, people that are within New Zealand borders, and with the recent changes in immigration and the labor market, that have really decided to reset their button on careers. Like, we've got students studying full bachelor's degree in nursing, teaching, construction, quantity surveying, food science, after investing 2 years in like low level courses. So students are really, thinking seriously about their career prospects and what they're going to do in that 3-year post study visa. So that's really heartening to know.